All right. Welcome back to the Public Pool Podcast. I'm Michaela Pascal, and here is the guy who does my laundry.
I do.
Yeah.
That's one of my tasks.
That is.
We kind of divide up tasks, and it's like, it would be funny actually almost to ask people, what task do you think each of us does? Because I think they'd be surprised.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because I hate doing laundry. Like I would rather go mow the lawn with a pair of scissors than do laundry.
See, for me, laundry for the most part, because I separate, as you know, my laundry into like very specific categories. I basically try to Henry Ford model this whole thing.
Yes.
I try to basically be like, okay, how can we make laundry as efficient as possible? People listening, I feel like over time especially, are probably just like, this is the strangest man ever.
Yeah.
But I try to make laundry efficient. And so what I do is I do foldables. So all the clothes I can fold, those all go together. And then hangables. That's literally in my head. On my to-do list, it'll be like wash hangables.
Hangables.
Dry hangables. I like to have a checklist so I can feel like I'm accomplishing things throughout the day.
Yes, because efficiency is your middle name.
It is. But also it's like if I'm not doing anything, I feel like I'm a waste of space. But I hate hangables. I hate having to hang shit.
Me too.
Foldables, it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Except for your clothes.
Yeah.
Your clothes are a nightmare.
We've been trying to figure out how to do like a bit with that where it's like trying to hang up my clothes because it's always like something's always got one strap.
And you're so loosey-goosey with it. Like you'll be like, just do it like this. And you'll like just kind of like there'll be a hangover or a hanger and you just kind of like throw it on top of the hanger and be like, yeah, just hang it like this. It's like, girl, that's going to fall on the floor.
And it does. It's the thing because then like 3 months later, I'm like, where is my mini skirt with the one strap? And it's on the floor mixed in my shoes and I've been missing it for months.
Okay, that's one of the funniest relationship dynamics we have actually. One of the funniest ones is when Michaela can't find her like a specific clothing item, I go and find it.
Yeah.
Because I do the laundry, because I put the clothes away. That's my job. So it's like, but that's something I feel like nobody who knows us would have guessed that.
I know. And my favorite part is like every now and then it's like, I'm like looking for something and I'm like, oh my God, like where did he hang it up? And I almost like get like annoyed at you sometimes. I'm like,
oh, I'm sure you do.
But why would I? I don't hang up my own clothes. You do.
It's true. I am doing a service.
Yeah. Like in my head, there's like, I think about like how I used to hang up my clothes. I'd be like, oh, well, my tank tops go here and this, and you just kind of batch whatever you do. Well,
since we've moved, I now batch. I've given up. I used to. Where it used to bother you, although I don't know how much it actually bothered you, was every now and then I would like completely take your whole closet out and then I'd put it back in, for efficiency. And I would do that. And every now and then you'd be like, where are my socks? I'm like, in the sock drawer that I didn't tell you is the new sock drawer. Yeah. And that would be annoying, I know.
The best was when I was like, man, I can't find my reading glasses anymore. Like I've been looking for them and like, I don't know. I didn't really like think to ask you. I just figured I misplaced them. And like I'm like searching through all my purses. And then finally I was like, hey, have you seen my glasses?
And then let me tell you what I said.
Yeah.
Have you checked the glasses bin?
And I said, what the fuck is the glasses bin?
And I said, it's where we put all our glasses now. And I forgot to tell you.
You forgot to take, you put, first of all, a bunch of loose sunglasses as if
it's not like, they're not like,
we don't have expensive things.
They're not literally made of glass.
No, it doesn't matter. But they do get scratched. But you just tossed my reading glasses willy-nilly into this box. And then you took the box and you put it at the top of the closet where I
literally
couldn't see, let alone reach.
Where I hid your engagement ring because I knew you couldn't reach there.
You're like, let me put this useful tool that you use every day, your reading glasses, up really high where you can't see.
That is one of the better parts about being tall, especially being like taller than you, is like when I had to hide the engagement ring, I was just like, she can't get up there. Like she'll have to drag a chair.
Yeah.
Or more often than not, if you need something in the high shelf where I put it, you would just ask me to get it. And then I'd be like, well, I'm not going to pull that box down because that's where the thing is.
I remember when I knew the engagement ring existed, that phase of it where I was like, we weren't engaged yet, but I knew it existed. I was trying to guess where it was, but not go look for it. I was trying to guess where it was in terms of I don't want to accidentally stumble across it. And so I actually was convinced that you had just put it in your bedside drawer.
I'd be terrified to do that.
But I thought you would do it because you were like, that would be the worst place ever to hide it. She's not going to go looking for it.
See, I wasn't playing 4D chess like this. I wasn't thinking.
I was convinced it was in there.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I like that where it's like, so you're basically saying like, in theory, knowing me, I would hide it out completely in the open thinking you would never suspect it.
For all I knew, you dug a hole and put it in the ground somewhere. Like
Well, actually, okay. This is a really random thought. Speaking of holes.
Okay.
You know the book Holes? That they turned into a movie? This is more about the movie, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I remember loving it.
It's a fantastic movie. It's a great concept.
The like cool like cowgirl chick was so cool.
Wait, the bad girl?
Yeah.
You like Sigourney Weaver, the bad.
I thought she was cool.
The girl who.
I didn't even realize that was Sigourney Weaver. That's how long it's been since I've watched that movie. I didn't know who that was.
Sorry, great. You didn't know. You thought that you were rooting for.
I wasn't rooting for anyone.
The prison warden who put these kids through manual slave labor in order to find treasure.
Am I thinking of the right person?
Maybe.
She was kind of like a cowgirl vibe.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Okay. For some reason in my head, she was like a mystical figure that just like appeared in the middle of the movie.
You also were a real horse girl, and so I'm sure any girl wearing a cowboy hat, you're like, you identified with that.
Why do I feel like she like had like a lizard on her too?
Well, yeah, the spotted lizards. Who hate sweet onions.
I really don't remember the movie. I just remember the vibes.
The reason why I brought it up, Holes, the concept of Holes, if you don't know, is that the kids, it's like a juvenile detention center, and basically as their punishment, besides living at these like in the middle of, I assume it's like West Texas, in these like encampments, in these tents, every day you have to go and you have to dig a 6 foot by 6 foot hole in like the middle of the desert. And they all go out there. How are the kids not just like so shredded? Like shredded beyond belief? Like there were a few fat kids in the camp.
That's a good point.
How?
You're just digging.
And they're not digging like, it's not even like they're digging at like a beach where it's like, yeah, the sand has some give, you can get it up. They're digging dirt, dry dirt.
Dry dirt.
Doesn't rain there.
Yeah.
How are they not all like, they should look like the freaking first Marines after Iwo Jima. Like, yeah, like they like don't really eat a ton. Like they should be just 6 packs. Their forearms should be the size of my legs. Like that's all they're doing all day.
They basically should be at the point where they're overpowering the guards.
Getting away. Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I don't know. I actually literally on my walk yesterday with the dogs, I was like, okay, when you be a good workout, digging holes. And I was like, they made a movie about that. Those kids some of the kids were there for like years.
Yeah.
And they weren't better at digging. Like, oh, it made no sense to me. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, I like that theory. You have you get kind of irrationally upset when people aren't as fit as they could be. Not in the way of where you're you don't work out. Or like in situations like that, or like at the gym, sometimes you'll see a man and you're like, he's not squatting heavy enough.
I don't like, here's another, I don't like, I really do love exercising.
You love exercise.
I love exercising. It gets my yayas out. Yep. That's kind of it. If I don't exercise, I feel kind of pent up all day.
When I first met you, you would go to the gym for like 2 hours before work, go to work, come home, and then like run 2 miles.
Well, I would run at night so I could go to bed.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. I'd be exhausted after going to the gym in the morning and having a full day of work.
I have the energy of like a 2-year-old child who had a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And so if I don't get my yayas out, I will not sleep. I just can't do it. So and then also it's just like, so after a while you get kind of used to it, but I really do hate when like we're at the gym, like if I'm at the gym and I see somebody who is clearly the weights aren't heavy enough, it's like, well, you're not working out, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
you're stronger than that. I see it.
You're just, because that person 2 months from now is gonna be like, yeah, you know what? I go to the gym. I guess it just doesn't respond with me. It's like, no, you're not going to the gym. You're going and you're doing these random motions. And we're all in this world where it's like, I feel like America, because we got so out of shape. We got so out of shape that we started just calling the most stupid shit like working out.
I know. Have you ever seen those posts that are like middle-aged women will do anything but work out?
Yeah.
Like those are my favorite, where it's like they're always doing some sort of like bungee rope jumping workout. And it's like, what is that doing?
Well, that's why.
But they look so fun.
It's like, you never did Tai Bo?
No, but my mom did.
Did you ever watch her do
I did.
You never joined in with Billy Blank?
I probably did.
Billy Blank, there's 0 weights. All you're doing is, if you're watching on YouTube, all you're doing is you would do this. You do punch forward with your right arm while your left arm kind of comes back, and then you do it the other way. And you kind of like twist your arms like, yeah. And I realized even at like 6, watching my mom do it and then, joining her, like, this can't make you fitter. Like all you're doing is throwing your arms around.
Yeah, you're stretching a little bit.
Yeah.
That was kind of it.
Yeah. I feel like there's this whole genre now and movement of like, especially for women, like workout classes. And you need to kind of like, to me, the reason why those work is because if you go to a workout class, like if you went to SoulCycle, what would it take for you to stop in the middle and leave?
A lot.
Like that would be the most embarrassing thing in the world.
Yeah, I would almost rather like drop dead a little bit.
Yeah, you go till you die.
Yeah.
So you get a good workout. And so I think that the trick for them is you already have your people who are like me, who are like, I'm going to go to SoulCycle all the time because I want this. And then you have the people where it's like a group of girlfriends go together. And so you don't want to be the one who says like, I'm not going to go to SoulCycle today.
Yeah.
So you go with them. And then you're gonna do the full workout, and it kind of like forces you to get in shape.
Yeah,
I just kind of put that all in my head right there. That makes sense. That's a SoulCycle. That's a SoulCycle fitness model. You can't get up and leave.
No, it's embarrassing. There's so many things I'd rather just stick out because being embarrassed is like the final frontier for me. Yeah, like I get so easily embarrassed, and like even to the point like at our old apartment one time, there was an elevator, and I got in the elevator and then like an old man on a scooter came in and he kind of was like blocking the entrance.
I think I remember this old man. Oh wait, is he the one who would never say hi back and then eventually did?
He was a walker.
I like that guy.
He was a great guy, but he was a walker. This guy was on like a scooter. Okay. And he kind of blocked the elevator. And so he was getting off on the floor after me. Yeah. And so there was someone else on the elevator too getting off on my floor. I was kind of blocked with the scooter guy. So when we stopped on my floor, the other person got off and I just pretended to ride up with the old man. This is the most you shit. Because I was like, that's so embarrassing to be like, sorry, you're blocking me in. So I waited for him to, I took like an extra elevator ride because I was too embarrassed to be like, I'm so sorry. Not
only did you do that, can I guess what happened too? Because when he got out on the 5th floor, you got out too pretending it was your floor, right? Of course you did.
And I went to another elevator because I wanted to seem like I was walking to my
You were such a trip.
Like it's so funny because it's like I actually like I don't have like a ton of like girlfriends or whatever. Like I'm not like I'm one of the guys like type of thing. I am desperate for girlfriends. Like I'm not like other girls. I want to be like other girls so bad it's not funny. I will do anything to be like the other girls. Yes. But
please make me one of the other girls.
Please, I want to be the other girl so bad. But it's like, and when I do like have girlfriends, it's like over the years I've been told to like either like people thought I was a bitch or like people thought I was like too cool, which to me is so stressful because whenever I walk into any space and meet any people, I'm like, I am the least cool person here.
Yeah, you really do feel that way.
I am so embarrassed to like, like speak to other people. Like, I don't know, like why like, it's just so weird that people perceive me as like super confident or like whatever. But when I'm like, I am so embarrassed 24/7.
It really is. It really is kind of amazing. Cause it's like when we first met, I did assume I was like, okay, this is like Mean Girls wrong. But like it's like, okay, this is like a cheerleader on the team who's kind of like a bit of a cunt, you know, like to people. And it's like, you do just have that look so much.
And I do have an intense look.
You have an intense look. And I feel like that does really, it drives people kind of like, they're like, oh no, well, I don't want to cross her because then I'll be bullied or something. And it's like, no, you're the sweetest little thing. You're like you're like a 4'11", like kind of like little girl who hangs out in the library, but trapped in your body. That's what you kind of are.
I kind of feel like that. And it's just, I don't know. So it's just so funny that like, I feel this quite constantly and like people perceive me the other way. Cause it's like every little thing embarrasses me. Yes. Like honestly, like the most embarrassing thing to me that I'm like, I make you do it because I can't even handle it is waving down a bartender. Why is waving down a bartender the most embarrassing thing in the world? Like I feel like a seal being, or like, you know, like in Finding Nemo, like the seagulls where they're like, mine. Like I feel like I'm trying to get the bartender's attention like that.
Fighting to get ahead of something.
And just being like, hi. Like it's so embarrassing. And like, it's still the thing like I told you the other day where I'm like, I still get nervous buying alcohol sometimes, like I have my ID ready, like, okay, like
that is so
say, like, everything to me is so embarrassing. Yes. And so I make you order drinks at the bar because I'm like, I'm not waving down the bartender.
And honestly, it's like I don't even feel like you make me do it because I'm gonna always go do it, because if you do it, we're not drinking our drinks for 35 minutes because you're very good at being like, oh no, you go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Well, sorry. No, you look like you really want to drink. It's like, I really want to drink.
Well, I also love the rules. And so I really respect lines.
You do.
I respect lines like nobody's business.
But there really aren't lines at bars.
I know, but
it's one line that's kind of a horizontal bar.
Which there's really no other circumstance which lines are like that, you know? Where it's like you're all kind of just congregating and hoping that the person in the middle will find you.
It's kind of, you want the only other circumstance there kind of is like that, but it's like, I guess it's not really the same, but like, I love when you're driving and you have to go through toll booths, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, so there's 25 tolls. Like, especially in the Northeast, it's like, okay, there's 25 toll booths. Everybody's just kind of like, that one looks quick. And so it's just chaos, but there's never any accidents. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
You know what's super embarrassing?
What?
And this happened to me this week. Sending the same text twice. So like when you send a text, like, so basically here's how it usually happens. You send a text, for whatever reason, your phone says like didn't go through. And so then you send it again.
Yes.
So you're like, oh shit. So you write out the whole, or maybe you copy and paste, and then it does go through. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I sent the same text 6 times.
Yes. And now I'm blowing up their phone with this one thing.
Yeah. Now people are acting like, it depends on what you're texting and stuff, but sometimes it's like, okay, relax. We get it. You don't like that movie.
Yes.
Or some shit like that.
Yes.
That's I think one of the most like, and then I always try to delete the ones that you oversent, and it always says like, hey, just so you know, 3 of your friends haven't updated their phones in 6 years, so it won't.
That's what it tells you. It's like, by the way, this person still has some devices. It's like you being like, I'm going to unsend this.
So then I'm calling that friend and I'm telling him like, hey, by the way, I didn't mean to send this multiple times. Wait, give me a second. I got to call the other people who haven't updated their phones. And it's a whole to do. It's just like.
Another thing that's kind of that same thing is when like you're like, oh my God, I need to tell this person something. And like you tell them this whole thing and they go, oh yeah, you already told me. And I'm like,
oh dude, that's okay. No, that's by far the most embarrassing thing. That's by far the most embarrassing thing. It's like that kind of stems from sometimes it stems from, I think the most embarrassed I ever feel, because I don't even know what I'm embarrassed about, is if you black out from drinking.
Yeah.
Waking up the next day not knowing what, like not knowing what you said, what you did. I'm basically for the next week just walking on eggshells. Like, did I?
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Yes.
And then, but that's the exact thing of like, oh, I didn't remember telling you that. If you're the type of person who says like, oh, you've already told me that, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's such a dick move.
Or if you're someone where like when you're meeting someone or like someone you've already like kind of met in passing before and they reintroduce themselves to you and they're like, oh, we've met.
Oh, dude, fuck off. Yeah.
I probably don't.
It's like, well, clearly you weren't memorable.
Yeah. That's not my fault.
That's not my fault. I have also the opposite issue of I don't remember anyone I've ever really met. Like ever. And especially now with you, I don't remember who I've introduced you to before.
Yeah.
So that's why I call everybody dude. I say like, hey, great to see you. Like saying vague things. So if I ever meet you and I'm really vague about stuff, it's because I don't remember you.
Yeah.
But I feel like I might have met you.
Like you have like so many people in your life. And it's like, obviously I've met so many people because it's like, you're really close with like all of your high school friends still. Like you have so many like college friends. Your families have like family friends. Like there's so many people I've like met in your life. And I kind of met them like all at once, like at like weddings and events. And so it was like a lot. But like,
and they're all things where it's like, well, okay, they're gonna remember you. You're the bride. Of course, they're gonna remember you.
Yeah. Or like even other things. It's like because of what we do online, everyone feels like they know us better than obviously they probably do, and or like they just saw us or whatever. So they come up to us very familiar. Like, how have you been? Like, saw this and that, and like my line in the beginning. Now I can't really do it anymore because we've been together for too long. But like I always was just like doing the like, oh my God, like, have we met in person or have I just seen you on Instagram? Because that was always my thing.
That's a good one.
I used to always be like, oh my God, no, I've like just literally stalked everyone on Instagram. So I forget like if we've actually talked or like I've just talked to you in my head.
That's good.
And, like,
it's good because it says like, hey, I do care though.
Yes.
Like,
and it's like, I know who you are, but I just like, I'm trying to place you.
Yeah.
Like,
God, you went super embarrassing. Anytime you give somebody who isn't like anytime I give somebody a ride in my car.
Yeah.
Like every time they get in my car, I'm like, fuck, I sit in the driver's seat. Maybe there's like a 2-year-old Snickers wrapper where this person's going to sit. I'm always like, I've never gotten in my car with somebody else and not said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For whatever.
Yeah. I know. Cause it's like, I don't know. Like the other day with your parents were here. We took my car and they got in my car. I was like, I didn't clean out my car before.
But I speed cleaned it.
Yeah, you did. I was like, I don't know what's in my car. Like I haven't in the back seat in forever. Like I don't think anything crazy's back there, but who knows? And like
that's
also my favorite thing about when I get in your car is like I open the passenger seat like a princess and you sit in your seat and you brush all the crumbs off of your passenger seat and you're like sit down, my princess. Like
I'm a gentleman. Because I mean, that's where I keep my food.
I know.
Your seat is when you're not there, your seat is my plate.
Yes, I'm aware.
So you're sitting on my dinner plate essentially, or
yes.
and it's all foods that explode. It's all like
you get the most like crumb.
Yeah.
Like you basically
I get good food.
You basically have just like those Nature Valley bars in like every possible.
Those sucked.
I love those though.
They were like,
oh my God, I used to dip them in milk.
I think they're really good if you dip them in something like that or coffee or something. But if you like, I feel like I've only ever actually eaten 50% because half of it just ends up on the floor on top of me.
Yeah.
You know what's really embarrassing?
What?
Eating pasta in front of people.
You're kind of making kissy faces at everyone.
Well, no, I just also can't do it. I can't get the fork when I'm chewing. Like everybody else seems to be able to really nail down. Maybe they're bringing the knife into the equation because I don't. Maybe that's what I need to do because you'll do the thing where you kind of spin the fork around and you get the pasta, and then everyone else it seems like okay, that's the perfect bite. They put it up.
Yeah.
When I lifted up my fork finally, I'm lifting up my whole plate of pasta. Like basically everything on my plate rises with my fork. The light went out.
Spooky.
No, I think it's the broken light.
I know.
All right, we're back. But yeah, I lift up the entire plate of pasta.
Yeah.
Every time.
I always feel like a little kid because I'm like leaning over the table trying to get to the make sure like if something drops, it drops on the plate. And I always feel like I'm like this hunched over. Like I'm like, this isn't very ladylike. And like for some reason no one else around me is doing it. Or I'm like a little kid where I'm like I have to like catch it.
Doesn't it feel like that? Like didn't you tell me like for like our first dates and stuff, like you were like nervous to eat in front of me?
Yeah, I like don't really like. I used to not really like eating in front of people.
I feel like everybody kind of. I feel like everybody feels like that though.
Yeah. Oh my God, do you know what else is super embarrassing?
What?
Honestly, this is more of a me problem because I'm you know us girls, we're always on Instagram.
You're always on the gram.
You're always on Instagram.
Yeah.
I do this probably at least once a week. I love to just watch stories. I always click on stories like within like 30 seconds of them posting it.
Interesting.
And I'm like the first person to view it. And like because of the algorithm, it's always like the first. Yeah. Like the same people always pop up first in that like thing. And so I'm constantly looking like I'm just like watching these people's stories like within the first 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I look like your number one fan. It's not as bad though as when you accidentally join someone's live on Instagram and you're the only person watching.
Well, that's a fucking nightmare. You've done that?
Oh my God, I do that all the time, accidentally clicking someone's live and it's like, and they'll be like, oh, hey, Michaela. And so now you feel like it's like a hostage situation.
That's a nightmare. That's my absolute nightmare. Because now if I leave, I'm an asshole. I'm leaving them alone.
They know who was in there.
They know who decided to leave.
The one joined member.
Yeah.
I can't just leave now.
You have to come up with a whole excuse. It's like when you're leaving like a party early where it's like, hey, you know what? Actually, I got to go. My phone's currently dying.
Yeah.
And I'm about to go into a movie theater where I'm not allowed to have my phone out. So I'm so sorry, but I'm your only friend right now, but bye.
And it's not even like you're on the phone where you can like talk to them. It's just like they're talking to like at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
you're having like a very public. Yeah. You're texting their talking conversation.
Yes.
That's not how we're supposed to communicate. That is so far away from how humans are used to communicating. That is like as far away as you can get.
I know. I honestly probably need to pull a page out of your book and I need to take a little bit of a break from social media, I think.
Yeah. I feel the opposite. Like I need to start getting back on. I feel like
maybe we should flip flop a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should try that like next week where like I won't go online and you'll go online.
Here's the problem. One, I don't think you can do it. I genuinely don't think you can do it.
I love I love scrolling on my phone.
I know you do.
But I think it gives me so much anxiety because I'm like, hey, this is everyone. This is society's the internet. But then when you have like dinner with friends, you're like, oh no, this is the real world.
This is the real world. Yeah, people aren't actually like this. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to be like quitting cigarettes for you.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just going to go down I'm just going to get real dark mentally.
Yeah.
It's just not good. What you should do, we'll switch. So you like Instagram and TikTok usually. Uh-huh. And I'm on Twitter and Reddit. Yeah. You go on Twitter and Reddit. You go into the real echo chambers and I'll go look at a bunch of people's fake lives.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Because I removed myself from Twitter because I was like it was making me generally angry.
Oh, it makes me terribly upset.
It was like the thing where it's like everyone's mood was just bad. And it's like one big group chat online. I hated it. And so I just had to get off of it because it was like, I think my last tweet was me literally arguing with someone and I deleted it.
What am I doing?
I deleted my tweet because I was like, why am I arguing with this person? And then I deleted the app because I was like, I need a timeout. And then I never went back.
I think at least once a week, I'll write out a whole thing of here's my response. And what am I doing?
What am I doing? What does this change?
Nothing. I don't even know if this person exists. Do you know what have you heard of the dead internet theory?
Yes.
If you don't know, the dead internet theory, and I'm going to probably get it wrong, is basically that there are so many bots online that often people will be in a conversation where it's it seems like there's 50 people talking, but it's really just that person talking to themselves. They're not talking to any other people. Mm-hmm. And every now and then I'm like, is this whole thing just bots from different sides being... It's kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of awesome. It's kind of these robot wars, political robot wars. China's got this agenda and Russia's got that agenda, and wait for Turkey or something. It's what are all their points? They make a bunch of fake people with the algorithm and they just kind of go and fight in the digital space like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news,
what?
The Met Gala exhibit theme was announced. So not the actual... This is what always confuses me is there's an exhibit theme and then there's actually the gala theme. And those are two separate
themes. So we saw
themes.
the exhibit a couple years ago.
Yeah, we went, I forgot.
The theme was fashion. Was it not?
Well, it's a fashion themed exhibit every
year it's fashion.
Yes.
I thought that was okay.
No, that's why.
Egg on my face.
That's why. The theme was fashion. It's a fashion event.
That's like being the Super Bowl last year and you're they played football there, right? They did that at the last Super Bowl. It's always it's football. Yeah.
It's a fashion exhibit.
It was a fashion. The theme. Every now and then I would love to be how could we somehow get me to be, okay, who's the girl on Dancing with the Stars? Who's that?
Who?
The con artist.
Oh, Anna Delvey.
And then is George Santos, he's the other. Those are the two predominant cons in American society right now. Uh-huh. What do I have to...
I think George Santos is actually about to go do time, though.
Oh, they all the cons have to do a little bit of time here and there.
Yeah.
That's part of the gig. It's part of the job.
Diva down.
You're a liar and a schemer. What do we have to do for just one time? They're Jack O'Shea, Jack the pool boy, he's in charge of the Met Gala this year. And then I get to say the theme is fashion. Yeah. And just see Anna Wintour and I'm good.
Yeah.
Sometimes the kid listens. Sometimes the big man listens. But just have Anna Wintour and then me really pitch one time when I was in high school, I was so ADD and there was a statistics class and the teacher was like, okay, who can get up here and explain standard deviations? And I think I raised my hand, but I think I did because I was really ADD and I was just I need to fucking stand. And I got up.
Social anxiety fears you.
Oh yeah. I got up in front of the class and I looked at the board and I said standard deviations. And I just kind of went for 5 minutes. And all I know is my buddy Jack Kingsley can confirm it. I think that's maybe one of the times I made him laugh the hardest. He was just what the fuck are you doing? I did not know what standard deviation meant.
That's a nightmare.
I drew a picture.
That's a nightmare of getting in front of the class to talk about something you don't know about and just kind of holding court. It's you put yourself in that situation. That's what most people dream about at night in a bad way and wake up with sweats.
Yeah, but
you needed to stretch your legs.
Here's the thing. I didn't like it. If I cared, it'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
I so did not care. So it wasn't. It was like, oh, I got it wrong. Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
And the poor teacher. I felt bad. I felt so bad for looking back on it. So bad for those teachers of being like, oh, this fucking kid again. But you know what? I would just read the book the night before the test.
Yeah.
And I'd do okay.
You were a good student.
I was a good student. Yeah.
But yes. So the theme is fashion.
Okay. So yeah.
But so they have separately the exhibit theme, like what the exhibit's going to be. And then they have the actual Met Gala theme where it's like how everyone's supposed to dress. I didn't really realize that those were two separate themes until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like they should be related to each other.
They should be the same thing, honestly. It kind of makes no sense that they don't.
Like the gala is circus and the exhibit is clowns.
Yeah, so I was hoping, or like when I saw it today, I was like, oh, this is what the theme's going to be. It's not. That's just the exhibit theme. But so the exhibit theme is going to be super fine, tailoring black style.
Okay. So
I was hoping that was going to be the carpet thing because I was like, okay, how are white celebrities going to handle this?
That's the most problematic shit ever.
I was like, what's going to happen? Like I wanted basically like a 2020 rerun of like Nancy Pelosi and like the African like guards just being like, God. I'm going to get down on my knee and do like that's
the greatest picture of all time. Her and Chuck Schumer.
Yes.
Just like on their knee being like, sorry.
Yeah.
That was such a like hilarious. You know what? It was kind of in hindsight, and especially as we move forward in time, that was such a hilarious time in the world. Just watching all these old white people who were very public having to like, I should say something.
Yeah.
Should you say something? You can't get in trouble if you say nothing. So maybe don't put on the African tribal gear and take a knee. That was the funniest fucking picture.
So that's why I was like, oh my God, is this going to be the theme? Because I was like, because at first I was like, how are white people going to handle this? Or are they just going to maybe pair with black designers? And like, that's kind of what I figured would be. But then I was like, oh, hell yeah. We're going to actually have some great suits for once because man, I feel like the white guys always just show up in like their tux or whatever. And it's so lame and they just don't bring it. So I was hoping for that.
We'll get some zoot suits.
Get some zoot suits.
Which honestly, zoot suits wasn't like a black thing, but every time I think of zoot suits, the only times I ever see them are like pictures of basically late 90s NBA, NFL like draft picks.
Yes.
So the white guys wore them too. What a hilarious time too, where they were basically everybody dressed like Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
You know Kevin Smith, he keeps on getting skinnier. But his suit, he doesn't get new clothes. And he already wore oversized clothes because I think he was insecure about his body. And so now he's like
just swimming in it.
He's wearing he looks like the guy from Impractical Jokers whenever he puts on a suit where it's like, that is a quadruple X. That is a quadruple XL.
But so they have Anna Wintour basically has like chairs with her to design the exhibit. Yeah. Where it's basically like usually it's someone like Blake Lively and like they pick these celebrities to like be on this board where
I got Blake Lively drama, by the way.
Ooh.
I actually have it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Can't wait to hear that. Yeah. But so the chairs for this are Coleman Domingo.
Love it.
Lewis Hamilton, the F1 driver.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
A$AP Rocky, which we know he's a big fashion guy.
Yeah.
Pharrell Williams. And then honorary chair. LeBron James.
Wow.
We got our boy LeBron.
Honestly, I thought you were going to...
When I hear LeBron, the first thing I think is fashion.
You want to talk about a zoot suit? He wore a zoot suit at the NBA draft when he was like 17 or 18 years old.
He should show up in his old draft suits.
He should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be kind of iconic.
It's so funny. Who was the first person you said? I thought you were going to name a bunch of people I didn't know, and so I was joking.
Coleman Domingo.
Who we all know.
He's like or in the theater world.
Okay.
He's like a Tony winner.
I feel like everybody's a fucking Tony winner.
He was just in The Color Purple, and I think he was in Selma.
Movies with a theme, it seems.
Yeah. And then I think he was in the Lincoln movie. I don't know.
It still sticks with the theme a little bit.
I know.
Same theme. I'm guessing he's black. That's interesting. But like, what would the exhibit theme have to be for me to be on an honorary chair? Like,
I feel like it would have to be
normcore workout gear?
I was going to say, I think it'd have to be like blue collar chic.
Even that though, I'd feel underqualified.
Yeah.
Like,
you were a pool boy though. Like,
I'm not blue collar. I like to think of myself as a man of the people, sure.
Yeah.
But I can't be like I'm a blue collar guy.
No, you're not. But I feel like you fit more into that category than like high fashion.
I feel like I'm a light blue collar.
Yeah.
You know?
Light blue collar.
Like there's blue collar workers and there's white collar workers, and I feel like I'm kind of like put your hands together.
Yeah.
Mix it. What do you get? Light blue.
Yeah, we have a bunch of construction like around our neighborhood because they're building a bunch of new houses, and every day we're walking to the gym, I just see Jack like.
I love building shit.
He like longingly looks at like this, and I'm like, "Do you yearn for the construction site?" And
I would love to build a house. I would love to build a house. No, I always look. The main reason I look is because we live in this new house, and I built the studio. I do all the. That's one of my responsibilities. Is more of the construction project stuff inside the house, and when we moved here, the studs in the walls were throwing me off so much because where they were in the walls made no sense.
Yeah.
And then there were horizontal beams, which there were none in California.
Of course, the horizontal beams.
And I ended up, for the first time in my life, calling a TaskRabbit, and he came over, and I literally was just like, I'm pretty sure there's a horizontal beam in this wall. And he was like, yeah, there is. He was from California too. This is just not what people are interested in. I'll stop right here. I'll stop right there. People don't care. I care though. These are my passions.
Let it sound off in the comments if you want to hear more about the beams and Jack's building stories. You are very handy.
It is amazing.
You always have some sort of project going on that like I'm not fully aware of what's happening, but I trust you. And
when you're not aware of it, usually it's because I'm worried you want to prove, but I know you'll like the final product.
One time you asked me, what's greater? Your trust in me or hatred for holes in the wall?
Yeah, what would be more, do you trust me enough? The thing was, if I was wrong, it would have been a huge hole in the wall.
It would have been really bad.
Yeah, because if okay, I'm just going to stop. This isn't interesting.
Sorry. We're going to change the subject.
This isn't interesting.
Oh my gosh. What's your Blake Lively goss?
Oh, it's not even that good necessarily, but I guess her and Ryan Reynolds are trying to purchase the rights to that one movie that she made with Justin Baldoni.
They're trying to buy for like the second one.
Buy the rights, just take the movie rights away from him, and everybody's saying like, "Girl, do it," because just get out of there, get a bunch of money from them. This is their pet project. Get $100 million from them or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then take and also be like, I don't want 2% of the future. And it's like, just get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, honestly.
Jay Belts.
Fire him. Yeah. He's got other things going on. He's gonna make bigger and better things.
You know, though, that I'm suspicious of him.
You are? I love him.
When anybody, like Dave Grohl last week, when anybody is coming off as Jesus, as the greatest guy ever with no flaws, I'm immediately like, I don't know.
But he only plays villains.
Yeah.
Like
so did Kevin Spacey.
That's true.
Yeah.
You just want your case. But I love Justin Baldoni because I'm a huge Jane the Virgin fan.
This isn't funny, but it's funny to me, I guess. Remember when Kevin Spacey, like all that shit came out and like 30 minutes later, he was like, hey guys, I'm gay.
Yes.
I thought he got out of it for a second. I told my brother, I was like, dude, he just got out of it.
Honestly, it was a good Hail Mary.
It was a real Hail Mary. It was like Diddy. It was the same Hail Mary like Diddy last week saying, let me free and women will not be allowed in my house.
There will be no more women in my house.
Whereas like somebody's got, but you know what? It was even better than that because there was like TMZ.
Where they kind of ran with like he's a hero for a day. There was like one press thing where they were like, how brave of him.
Is there anybody who's been like canceled who's like you can still watch their stuff more than Kevin Spacey? Like Kevin Spacey being in a movie does not affect my view on the movie whatsoever because he always plays the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't really feel deceived by his character because I'm like, well, yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's the bad guy. Wait, okay, so I'm supposed to. So basically, you're saying I shouldn't watch this movie because I don't like Kevin Spacey. Well, the movie's telling me not to like Kevin Spacey.
If anything, I'm more into it. I'm like, take him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he's getting out.
Is he?
Oh yeah. Like every witness has died.
Oh yeah.
In shady circumstances.
Oh my God.
Don't you kind of love it though? I don't want anybody to die.
Like, I don't, but it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, so obviously we know what's going on. Like the craziest thing, I'm even afraid to say it on the mic because it's like
Bowen?
Well, like that's a whole other thing. But I was going to say with the Epstein trial, Ghislaine Maxwell with the judge and how that got no press.
A couple of years ago when basically the judge, so what happened was the judge for the trial opened the door and I think didn't a package explode and I think it killed her son.
No, I think it was like literally a hitman at the door. Killed her son.
Like
shot him.
And so you know what they did? They got a new judge. And that judge, turns out, was real amenable to Ghislaine's case.
But it was like that.
He had some sympathy for her.
Happening. Like,
Gone.
No, there was no press about it. I saw like a couple headlines about it to the point where it was like, oh, maybe it's not real because I didn't see a true news cycle of it. That's the psychoest thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a weird, like, nobody's talking about this. Like, everybody's talking about, like, dumb conspiracy theories. And it's like, no, that was, like, something legit happened.
There has been kind of a breakthrough in some old One Direction drama that nobody really knew. We all kind of assumed this is a mystery that was never going to get solved.
Share the deets.
Okay. So, in One Direction, there's 5 members. You know them.
Let me name them.
Yeah.
Harold Styles. Niall. Liam. The Muslim one. And
Zayn.
And don't give me the last one.
I don't know if you're gonna get that one.
Bridgerton. Jacoby.
Louis.
Louis. Yeah.
So obviously,
Niall and they're all the British, real super British, Irish, Scottish names. Niall and Harry and Louis.
Yeah, Niall's the Irish one. But so pre Zayn leaving One Direction.
Yeah.
When all 5 of them were still in the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently there was a lot of fighting in there. Liam, who now is kind of going through a little bit of drama, but I'm not even going to touch on that yet because it's still unfolding. And so the story is still unwritten.
This podcast has standards. We don't just say out clickbait headlines. We're not Adam Schefter. We're not like those like news Twitter accounts. We wait till we have the story. We're like the Boston Globe. We're like Spotlight. We wait until it's ready to be out there.
Yes.
Continue, sweetie.
So like many years later, like a couple of years ago, Liam's was just like talking about like the turmoil and like stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, actually stuff got so bad one time that one of the guys, I won't say who, threw me up against a wall.
Okay, so pause. Now we have another game. Actually, real pause. Let me pull up One Direction. Okay, point to the one who got thrown up against the wall.
I can't see. Oh, sorry.
So that guy.
So
okay.
Liam.
Okay, so Liam got thrown up against the wall. So now I'm going to try to guess which one has the ability to do that.
So basically,
Zayn. He's the only one who looks strong enough. It had to be Zayn. Because everyone else is too skinny. Well, I think it was Zayn, the bad boy.
Okay, well, you guessed right.
I did?
Yeah.
See? Detective work.
Didn't let me tell my story. But
continue to tell the story. I'm sorry. You said somebody got thrown against the wall and I was like, who can
that was the whole story. Someone got thrown again. So yeah, so basically Liam was like, like things got so heated. Like I got thrown up against the wall. For years we've all been like, who threw Liam up against the wall?
Why didn't you call me? I look at the picture of them like I just did and said clearly it was Zayn.
I honestly, part of me kind of thought it was Harry.
Harry doesn't have
look up frat boy Harry.
This is how deep you were in One Direction. There are literally Harry alter egos.
There's phases of Harry.
Frat boy Harry. Are there phases of Harry? There are phases of his PR teams, how they would...
He just was switching up his style.
Yeah.
But so what happened was...
I'm looking at pictures of frat boy Harry, and I'm not going to lie. I'm still not seeing where this upper body strength that you think... If I dressed as like a wrestler, it's not like all of a sudden I have the ability to do backflips.
But so he's in his angsty teen boy area, okay?
Yeah.
But so we all for years have been like, oh my God, who did it? Like, we'll never know. Everyone was like unanimously like, obviously it wasn't Niall. Like that. The little blonde Irish one.
Again, yeah, go on.
He's the nicest guy in the world. Like he
doesn't have the capability.
No.
Sweetie.
Also, none of these guys are big.
I know. That's why I was like, wait, pull it up. Who could possibly have done that?
But so then right now Liam's kind of going through like a little bit of drama. Like he's kind of getting hate trained a little bit where I'm like, I'm a little bit like in defense because just because someone's cringy doesn't mean they're bad. I don't know. But so people have kind of just been turning on Liam a ton lately.
Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
She just straight up made a TikTok the other day and said, it was Zayn. She's like, everyone was like,
whoa,
shut the fuck up, girl.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I guess he was just being annoying online and she was like, I've had enough.
You fucking.
And so she just was like, by the way, he told me it was Zayn. She just like solved the mystery for it. Like, I was like,
yeah,
that is what ex-girlfriends are for.
Solved.
Like literally give us the drama that all of us want.
Isn't it? It's so funny because it's like, it's literally, in many ways, it's like, this is going to sound like it's condescending, but it's not. This was the JFK assassination for One Direction fans. And it's like, she basically was like, by the way, it was the fucking CIA. I have it confirmed.
Yeah. And she just drove by that information. Like, by the way, here, like just dropped it, kept going.
Casually dropping.
It was like, that's right, girl.
I love that.
So I don't know. I just was like, I felt a little bit like, okay. Yeah, it was Zayn.
I love One Direction.
One Direction
drama.
lives on, but also it makes me sad though because that just makes me think, so we're never getting a reunion. The hiatus is never over.
But you know what? It feels like that with a lot of boy bands. They're way too successful as individuals. They're way too successful as individuals where it would make sense and you'd be able to get all of them back. Like I think the only way you could, and even this I don't think you could. It was like if somebody died, which God forbid, and so it's like okay, hopefully it's like. I think the only way would be, was there like, all right, I know how, okay, baby, this is when it's coming back. I just solved it.
Okay.
Another One Direction mystery solved by me. Their reunion is going to happen when Simon Cowell dies. They're going to perform together at his funeral. That is how it's going to happen.
I could see that.
But
I don't know if they're all on good terms with Simon.
Okay, so then maybe not Simon Cowell, but like whoever a non-member but essential figure to the band.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Are they all close with her?
She's the one who formed them. Nobody gives her credit for that. On the X Factor, she's looked at like 30 boys, all these Polaroids of the guys who made the X Factor auditions, but then got cut.
She was the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls, right?
Yes, and she went this one. She like put them together. There's a couple other guys that she like put in and like moved out. She like looked at them all on Polaroids and said, this is a band.
So she was the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. Can I tell you my Pussycat Doll story?
Yeah.
They came about, I forget how old I was, but all I know is
life-changing for me.
When they came out, it was when they had video iPods.
Yeah.
And I found out what music videos were, and I purchased at least one or two of their music videos. Mm-hmm. And it was when I was still young enough where I was like, I don't really know what's happening to me.
I'm feeling a certain way.
I'm like warm everywhere. and I was like, maybe I just really like this.
Is it the Buttons music video?
It was the Buttons music video.
So I was going to say that was pretty formative for me as well.
Snoop Dogg hopped in and I was like, get the fuck out of here, Snoop Dogg.
Get out, Snoop.
I want to look at these women.
Yeah.
And
on like were they on like a subway or a bus or something? I'm trying to remember. But
all I know is that they were trying to loosen up their buttons, babe. Yeah. But you keep fronting.
Mm-hmm. Saying what you gonna do to me.
But I see nothing. Okay, so are you ready for this week's edition of Sports Gossip?
Hit me, sister.
Okay, so if this is your first time listening, just to summarize what this segment is, I like football. You don't like football. I've learned that the only way for you to really get interested is if I deliver the news to you like it's gossip.
Yes.
Okay, so this week, Tuesday, the head coach of the New York Jets, Robert Saleh, who, by the way, is a bald king.
Oh, he's the handsome one, right?
He's super cute.
He's soups cute.
He's a bald king. We love our bald kings.
You're talking to a girl who loves bald kings. Oops.
He was fired on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the thing.
Cutie down.
And it's like firing a head coach in the middle of the season isn't like super random because like it happens like once or twice a season. But in this case, it's actually kind of juicy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so basically it's like bald king Robert Saleh, he specializes in defense. Like defense is like his thing. And it's like by all metrics, the defense has been slaying. I mean, it's like they clearly didn't get the memo that it's the fall because like they're still in their Brackwell summer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking like for real, like they haven't given up a touchdown. They've only given up one touchdown in the last 3 weeks. Like they're doing really, really well.
That sounds, like they're slaying.
And so all of our listeners right now are like, so the fuck what? Because he's the head coach. He's not just in charge of the defense. And it's like, yeah, in most cases, for most teams, that would be true. But here's the thing. Do you know who the quarterback of the New York Jets is?
A-Raj.
It's none other than the drama queen himself, Aaron Rodgers.
He is such a drama queen.
He's such a drama queen. He won't like, dude, it's like, girl, let it go.
It's like you can't be old and a drama queen.
You can't.
No.
But he's, I don't know. Anyway, so when they brought him on, they were like, okay, please come save our franchise, Aaron Rodgers. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. But you have to bring along my friends, like some of these old wide receivers. And also his personal best friend, the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who, by the way, is just like, he's trash.
Yeah.
Like, he's like Katy Perry's last 3 try to like comeback albums trash.
Oh.
That's how bad.
Yeah.
So Robert Saleh, the defense is winning games. The defense is playing really well. The offense is what's losing games. So as the head coach, he's like, you know what? I'm going to demote or maybe even like fire Nathaniel Hackett. And then when Aaron Rodgers heard about this, he was like, that's adorable.
Yeah.
That's so cute. You think you're in charge? That's so cute. Bye-bye. And then Robert Saleh, he not only was fired, he was escorted to his car by security, like perp walked out the door.
First of all, Aaron Rodgers is a backstabbing bitch.
Yes.
His name needs to go in the burn book.
It really should.
Like,
it should go in the burn book.
Like, he's literally a bitch.
And the thing is, it's like, he's a widely known bitch. He knows people think he's a bitch and he's still being a bitch. And so in a way, it's kind of like, go off.
Yeah, honestly, like girl boss for not caring.
Yeah.
But that's so unfair because it's like, what, his friends are just going to keep failing up and he's just going to
Pretty
like
much.
let the other guy who's like good
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And so it's like, I mean, there are arguments where it's like, okay, maybe he's like earned it. He's won like 2 MVPs or no, like 4 MVPs actually. He's like an all-time great. That's great. But it's like, girl, you haven't won a Super Bowl since like Bush was in the White House, basically.
Oh my God.
Like he's like pre-Obama Super Bowl. He is. I think Obama was in the White House. But and then there's like another little tidbit of the story to it too.
Okay.
So the owner of the Jets is this guy named Woody Johnson, which yes, you're probably thinking, hey, both of those things are nicknames for penis.
I was literally just thinking that, but I was like, I'm going to keep that to myself.
Woody Johnson. He's the owner of the Jets.
Okay.
For the past, or not the past 3 years, but basically from 2016 to 2020, he wasn't the owner of the Jets officially because Trump made him the U.S. ambassador to the UK, which has to be the easiest job in the world. We don't really have a lot of issues with the UK.
That's random.
It's super random. So because he was there, he couldn't really like be running the team. So he had his son, Chris Johnson, way more boring of a name, running the team. And this past week, the Jets played the Vikings in London. So Woody Johnson is super pumped. He's like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hang out with all my posh British friends.
Yeah.
And they're watching the game together and the Jets just embarrass themselves. So Woody Johnson clearly was like, okay, this can't stand. I'm going to do some shit. So a lot of people are thinking maybe it's that. Maybe it's him basically just trying to like look cool in front of his friends. And it's like, oh my God, grow up.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, grow up.
It's like you have to stop caring about what people think about you.
You do. You really do.
It's just like so not good for your psyche.
It isn't. And it's really, you're right. Self-image. He needs to work on himself.
Yeah.
He needs to listen to some he needs to be like some body pause.
He should follow Chloe K on Instagram because she's always posting some really good motivational quotes.
Chloe Kardashian.
Mm-hmm. I'm always screenshotting her quotes. She gets them off Pinterest.
I love Chloe.
You go, Chloe Money.
You go, Chloe Money. And I love her taste in men. She has really good taste in men. They always work out. How many times, every time we watch the Kardashians, because I've seen, I think, every episode now because you absolutely love it and you got me to like it a ton. How many times have we watched it where it's like, oh, Chloe's, it's like, stop dating NBA players.
Yeah.
Date any other sport.
Yeah.
Date an NFL player because the NBA season is so long and they travel so much.
Yeah.
Like the MLB season is just as long, but they'll be like, yeah, we're home for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
NBA teams, they're constantly flying across the country. Like, dude, you can't keep being shocked when these guys cheat on you and then go back to his teammate. She's like, okay, I'll date another Laker.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that he's on the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think that's the real problem.
I know. Wait, so the Jets, so are like the fans, they're pretty upset with Aaron Rodgers because clearly he's the one pulling the strings.
Sort of.
Okay.
It's like,
is it like a hate-love relationship? Because they're like, well, he is really good, so obviously we like that he's here, but like...
It's so complicated because the Jets have... So of all the 4 major sports, hockey, basketball, football, and baseball,
okay,
the Jets have the...
Don't forget bowling.
And PBA bowling, because the oils change. They have the longest streak currently, and it's not a good streak to have, of not making the playoffs. So they haven't been to the playoffs in 14 years.
Okay.
Every other team in every other major sport, except for maybe the Seattle Kraken, maybe the new team hasn't made it. But anyway, every other team has been to the playoffs since the Jets were last in the playoffs. They are really bad. It's hard to be a Jets fan.
Yeah.
They made a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where the story was a guy killed himself and Larry David was like, I'm pretty sure the Jets made him kill himself. They're really hard to watch and be a fan of. And so my heart goes out to you. It's really tough. So getting Aaron Rodgers, I think if anything, it's a net positive.
Yeah.
I think they'd rather have Aaron Rodgers, even if he's a dick.
Yeah.
It's
kind of a toxic relationship.
Well, I mean, and it's, the thing is too, it's as hard as it is to be a Jets fan, it pales in comparison to the Cleveland Browns situation. Because do you know Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
Accused multiple time rapist quarterback who the Cleveland Browns, who have also sucked for so long, were like, we don't care if you murdered people. If you're good, you're going to play for us. And he's even more drama than Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is a lot better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's the worst quarterback in the league now. It's hard to feel bad. Whenever people are like, there are people starving in, finish your food. There are people starving elsewhere.
Yes.
It's kind of like that where it's like, every time, if you ever hear the Jets fans complain, the Browns are like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
We would kill to be in your situation.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know how they say God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers? Mm-hmm. I'm starting to think that the strongest soldiers might be Floridians, and that's why they get hurricanes.
Oh, the second hurricane coming?
Dude, because that shit looks crazy.
Although, good news. We just had good news. Milton? Is that the new one? Hilarious name.
I know. When we were just talking about the hurricane name things, it's like...
Helene and Milton? What is this, an old couple? Fucking... I'm not scared of Helene and Milton. Although, do you know who Helene and Milton are? You know the image. It was, I think, in Michigan during the BLM protests and stuff. Uh-huh. There was that old couple standing and they had their guns like this. Their names were Helene and Milton.
That's Helene and Milton.
That was Helene and Milton. And apparently those are the hurricanes coming.
Yes.
I would not be scared of Helene and Milton. Name them like Brock and Caesar.
Yeah.
You know?
Hurricane Caesar. Ugh. I don't know. But
apparently Milton's now a Cat 3.
Oh,
not Cat 5 anymore.
Okay.
Apparently.
I saw this morning it was the opposite. I was getting over categorized where they're like, there's not even a scale anymore.
Oh, this morning they were juicing it up.
Yeah.
But apparently now it's like, no, it's settled down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You West Coast people don't know fucking hurricanes. Hurricanes are constantly changing the numbers and you're constantly, it's like, it's a Cat 4 now. Now it's just going to be rain. Cat 5. You don't know.
Because I was going to say, it's like Florida is like the number one they deal with hurricanes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just crazy where it's like, to me, as someone who grew up in the West Coast, I'm so afraid of weather. Mm-hmm. I would never live in Florida because of the weather. It scares me. Yeah. The fact that they're just like a couple times a year, like, hey, we have to leave is crazy to me. But it's like Floridians might be God's strongest soldiers because every Florida person headline I see, whoever the subject of that article is, they can kick anyone's ass that I know. Mm-hmm. I'm terrified of them.
Yeah, Florida man.
There would never be a terrorist plot or attack in Florida because you know that they would just be like, well, we can't fuck with Florida. And you would think that it would be, we can't fuck with Texas.
So here's the thing,
but I think it's Florida. They'll eat your fucking face off.
I feel like I have to say, just in case there's any listeners who are like me, the 9/11 hijackers did learn how to fly in Florida. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
But they learned there.
But they learned there. But they didn't, right? There. But they didn't strike.
Would not have struck Florida.
Do you think the country would have reacted if it was like, oh no, Tallahassee was hit? I don't think anybody would have. I don't think they would have made front page news.
I think it would have been more like terrorists aren't going to fuck with Florida.
Yeah.
Because it's like you think it's the
they got gators.
The state you don't want to fuck with is Texas because it's like, yeehaw, it's Texas. We've got guns and shit. If I were a terrorist, I'm not.
You're on so many lists.
But if I were,
let's pause real quick. Yeah, give some advice to terrorists.
What advice?
If there are any terrorists listening, Michaela has some notes for you.
I'm just saying, if I were in their shoes and I basically was picking like, okay, we want to take down America. Like, what are the spots? I'm not hitting Florida because I feel like they overpower me without weapons.
I feel like a lot of Florida too. Yeah, it's just
they're crazy.
They're crazy people, and it's especially like a lot of people move to Florida. That and California, the two cities or states where people move to. I feel like the people who are born in Florida, I know a lot of them, all got a little bit of a screw loose. Yeah. All a little bit nuts.
Something's happening there.
You can't live that close to alligators and not be like, this is okay.
Like that's so underrated that there's just alligators.
Yeah, there's just dinosaurs nearby constantly. And they all have pools. And
sometimes they're in your pool.
They're always, then they end up in the pool.
What?
Whatever. No, Florida's nuts.
Florida's nuts.
Yeah.
With peace and love, Florida, you're nuts.
Yeah, but good luck with the Milton thing.
Yeah.
Old Milton's coming.
Old Milton.
All right, well, that's the pool boy.
That's okay.
That's how I used to do it. It's actually really hard for me to do it sometimes. All right, guys, well, that's the Public Pool Podcast. Get out and towel off and have a blessed week.
And please subscribe, like your channel, like this channel, send this to your grandma. If you have any like crazy relatives who are like really into like conspiracy theorists, like your most unhinged relative, send them our podcast. And also, I want them on our side.
And if you get this far, if you can tell us in the comments, what's the craziest thing what that relative said? And then here's what we're going to do. If we get any of those comments, we get enough. Next week, here's what we're going to do. Michaela is going to be the prosecutor, and I'm going to defend your crazy relative. Okay. That's what we'll do. I love being defense lawyer.
I know you do.
Yeah.
All right. Kisses.
All right. Toodaloo.